Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, it's almost 6:30 as far as that goes. I'm kind of debating on whether if I should continue walking all the way to the lookout point that I usually go to, which is it's a bit about uh, almost like a mile away from the house, or I should just simply just head back to the house, which is only about like at least about a 5-minute walk from here. You know. So as far as what's going on with me, as far as the plans for like Christmas, it's it's still up in the air and all that, because the truth of all that there is that I still kind of wanted to go around and meet up with my uncle as far as that goes. When with the whole computer build and all that kind of stuff that we were like planning on doing. But it just seems like the problem is just the whole scheduling and all that, and then what was really driving all the whole problems there was just me not making up my mind on all these sort of things. What if I wanted to have like OneDrive, or just do a whole raid or not, or have this sort of peripherals, or have this sort of things, that sort of stuff. And then the fact that I was like getting like so desperate of wanting to go back on and all that, because I'm missing out on all those games that, as far as that goes. And then the fact that here, I think I was just trying to fill something there with something else, and I think it was mainly like the past couple of weeks and all this sort of stuff was like with sex and all that. Not that the sex was just meaningless, and all that. I mean, I think the last 2 or 3 guys or so that I hooked up with, like the last month or two, were actually kind of satisfying in some ways, in their own right, But I'm not gonna really go around and say their names as far as that goes, and But in a way, there were some other things that I was just looking for and all that, was just a boyfriend. But on the other hand, it feels like the guys who are more inclined to be looking for a relationship and all that are clingy. Or at least I just perceive them to be a bit clingy in a way. Or at least it's just simply the ones that specifically say looking for a relationship, that they come off as being very clingy in a way. And I think I had that sort of thing happen to me at least 2 or 3 times on occasion, where I encountered some guys that are like that are just too eager, I don't know what it is. And then they go off on the deep end, and then dropping the L word and all this sort of stuff when they haven't even met me yet. They haven't even know me. That sort of thing. They don't even know my first name. They don't even know all, like, how many siblings do I have, and all this sort of stuff, and pets and all this sort of stuff. And yet they drop that word on me. God, that happened. Maybe, what was it? The last time that happened to me, I think it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, when I wanted to hook up with some guy, and it was right after there that he started dropping the L word and all this sort of thing, and doing all this sort of shit, and then later on, I think I had gone around and told him off there that, well, I mean, luckily I was, having a trial run with Ricky, I should say. And then I basically had told that guy off there that I already have a boyfriend. I'm just looking to hook up, that sort of thing, and then if you just don't, and if you just can't accept it and just get lost, that sort of thing, yeah. Anyway, it was one of the things I had said on my previous vlogs, that I probably should have said that sort of thing to Matt a few years ago about that, when Matt was just being all clingy around me and desperate, sort of thing, And in a way, it's like, because of that, it's like I avoid guys that have ads that say looking for a boyfriend or looking for the one or whatever. They're just being horribly clingy, which I don't get. I really don't get guys that are like that, that are just horribly clingy for no fucking reason at all. That's just something that just really annoys me about that. But then again, someone would probably will explain to me about why some people could be this sort of way, and then, the explanation would be is that it's just simply that they're just lonely, and that it could be just a myriad of reasons of that sort of thing, that they might have had abandonment issues and all this sort of stuff, or whatnot, that sort of thing. But as far as this sort of thing goes, there's probably a lot of things that I'm probably looking forward to, as far as next year goes, is whether or not that the computer being built, that new computer there, I don't know if that's going to be happening at the end of the month, or maybe next month, or something like that, next month, next year, I should say, but as far as that goes, it just seems a little bit too early to say as far as what's going to really happen with that. Whether if it's this month, this week or so, or whatnot, Plus, it feels like I have the processor and the motherboard that I wanted to get, But as far as any of the other stuff, it's like it kind of depends on how things are going to go, whether if I'm going to be able to find that sort of thing on whatever store, But in a way, I would say that the biggest hurdle of all of that was just me, and that the fact that I couldn't decide on what it is that I wanted to build, in a way, and the fact that I was just desperate and of wanting to get a new computer and all this sort of stuff. And desperate of getting back into like playing whatever the new games that they have and all this sort of stuff, and then adding games to my Steam library and all this sort of stuff, and then adding a lot of other things, you know. But as far as that goes, I mean, I've been wanting to like start doing like streaming and all that kind of stuff there once I get like the new computer, because I also want to get like a whatchamacallit, I wanted to get a I wanted to get a webcam and all that kind of stuff there to do like some streaming and all that, but I also wanted that sort of thing simply because what if I'm going to be vlogging in the house and all that, to make it a lot more easier to do as far as vlogging. But as far as all the other little things, you know, it's just too early to say as far as what I wanted to do after all that, you know, and let alone all these other things, you know, what if I get another boyfriend or not. But I realized as far as one of the biggest difficulties was mainly the other guys understanding where I'm coming from and all that. And I feel like I had to realize it's just that not every guy over there is going to get the whole Asperger's, you know, that sort of thing. But they'll try. You know, as far as to getting Asperger's and all that. And they'll try with all the other little things. And I have to also try to be a little bit more patient with them as far as when it comes to all that. You know. And not to mention all the other little things that I have to deal with there. But in some ways, it's probably debatable upon what's going to happen there, you know. But in a way, we'll just have to wait and see as far as what's going to happen. So, anyways, talk to you guys later.